Hello, we are the Heritage Group at Headway Cambridgeshire. We are a group of 7 individuals with a range of brain injuries. We've been working on a project about the history of brain injury in Cambridgeshire for the last year.
This has involved us doing detailed research and included talking with designers to create an online timeline and exhibition that you can see. We had to work as a group to face the challenges that research like this has. We met with people from various walks of life to help us understand the changes of treatment to people with brain injury. The exhibition is all about telling you the history from a person's perspective. We use this as a process of filtering all our real life information while making it into fictional stories you can understand.
I will now let another member of the group tell you what it's like to have a brain injury and what we've got up to as a group as a whole.
Hello, I'm Stephen, a member of the research group. I had a stroke 2 years ago. Through watching my oral history, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself.
But before that, I'm going to explain to you a little bit about what a stroke is and how people's lives are impacted after a brain injury. A stroke is a serious, life-threatening medical condition that occurs when the blood supply to a part of the brain is cut off. There are 2 main types of stroke, ischemic and hemorrhagic. Headway is a charity that helps those with long-term problems. Some of the things I face on a daily basis are short-term memory, mobility, communication problems, in particular aphasia and epilepsy.
Now we're going to hear a little bit more about my personal history.
I grew up in Clapham, London. My first job was as a wages clerk, and one day the boss took me on one side and said, "Stephen, you can do better than this." So I walked across the bridge to near the Houses of Parliament, and I went into the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. And within a week, 5 firms had offered me the job. One of the jobs that I first did was taking off and then working up. So that was a technical term. And what I really do remember from that first job, the boss, when he was going out and it was raining, I had to carry the umbrella for him. I was eventually a partner in a quantity surveying firm, and then I joined the government, PSA. About that time, I was getting more interested in people, so I became an HR person. And then eventually, later on, I became a counsellor. And in the later years, I became a spiritual director. So I had quite a rounded career. I was 64, and I had a brain injury that was a stroke. And I was in hospital for 16 weeks. And there was 50-50 chance whether I would live. Initially, I was not conscious very much at all. And then gradually I was introduced to speech therapists and physiotherapists and occupational therapists. And as a rule, they were all wonderful. When I was in the hospital in Luton Ward, a consultant said, "Oh, I think we've got a motorised vehicle you could have to drive into the wards." And so for the last couple of weeks, I went round the wards waving to people, hello, and it was just made my week. And in a way, that coming out from Addenbrooke's was a bit of a false dawn, because I thought, oh, I'm going to get back to normal. But it is not normal, but I'm making the most of it. Although people seem to think that it's a downside, and it was a downside, and a downside to my wife, because she had to become my carer, and I love her for that. But it's part of me. I realised I'm seeing a different side of life. I would never have met all these people like I've done Headway and like I did at Brookfields and also at Edinburgh's, I think it's a little bit irritating that I'm not in control of my own destiny as much as I was. But I'm gradually getting that back, and my wife's very encouraging in that respect. Well, happiness used to be having grandchildren and all that sort of thing, and they're still their grandchildren growing up. But it has changed. So when I make a little bit of progress in the gym, then I'm happy. The little things like washing up, I can now do the washing up. So I get a bit of pleasure out of that. So it's just this relearning of just basic processes can give me satisfaction. In terms of my faith, I just see that it's all part of my challenging life, and that God's in it somewhere.
Hello, I'm Wendy. The research group, as Nick has said, is made up of 7 individuals. Well, 8 really, including Beth. We started the project by looking for every bit of information we could find about the history of brain injury. This involved looking through archives, libraries, newspapers, asking people to come and tell us what they had found or known, and of course looking online. This has given us a lot of varied information, which has allowed us a chance to pick the best bits we could think would be more interesting. Working as a group was very integral to this. It meant that one person didn't have to do all the work themselves. By filtering information, we could all take on the research. It also meant as a team, we really enjoyed working together as we could hear what everyone thought and share ideas. I have found the project so interesting, and I would like to see what sorts of changes within the brain injury will happen in the future. It has also allowed me to look back and see the changes that have already happened and what people have been through. Through doing the Heritage Project, we have had a chance to find out a lot about the treatment of brain injury and get involved in a variety of different ways of researching and working with people in the research world. The outcome of all this hard work can be seen through our exhibition. It will be touring around Cambridge in April and May. There are oral histories that are open to the public view. There's also a film telling a little more about us and an online timeline.